Welcome back, friends, to another Excel video, and I call this my stress-free Excel worksheet. This is going to be a fun and very useful video to deal with stress in your organization. Now, I think this is a really important topic that not enough people talk about. Actually, this last weekend, I uploaded a YouTube video all about stress and how to deal with stress in the workplace. But I wanted to give you some practical tips. This is some practical things you can do to help eliminate stress in your workplace. So here's an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm actually going to put a link in the description for a PDF that you can download with this so that you can copy it or tweak it for your organization. But this is just the cover page here. And I want to show you this quote here. Have you ever heard of this? What gets measured gets managed. This is one of the most famous business quotes, and this is a little bit controversial. I realize that because, not everything can be measured in business. But I think stress is one of the areas that could really help from being managed a little bit better. This is exactly what this quote is talking about because nobody tries to measure stress. No one tries to manage stress, and that's why everyone's so stressed out all the time at work. So this is just a tool to help try to measure and figure out what's going on so that you as a business leader or a manager can do things to help mitigate those high levels of stress in your organization. So I have some instructions on here. I say use this Excel spreadsheet as a template on how you can track stress levels with your team at work. Numbers should be discussed and determined as a team. The greatest benefit comes with having the discussion and identifying the biggest causes of stress. So this is really a tool to start having this conversation. I would recommend getting your whole team together and say, you know what, we're going to have a meeting and we're going to talk about stress. Well, I've actually done this and I've found really positive results just from sitting down and having the conversation and figuring it out as a team, what people think, what are the big problem areas, and what are some things we could do to fix it. I go on to say, spend about 6 minutes in discussion on each item. The meeting should last about an hour. Only choose 10 items to track. We're not trying to create an endless list of items here. We're just figuring out the top 10 items that are causing us stress. Any more becomes too many to discuss and reduces the effectiveness. Trends over time should show that stress is being reduced in your team. Make sure to ask your team if there's any other items not included in the list that should be added. So here's the tracking spreadsheet, and it's really pretty simple. It's just the idea is that once a quarter, you would get together and talk about what is causing your team stress. You would list down here a description of each item, and you would rank it on a rating from 1 to 10. And you would do this as a group. As a group, you would decide how do you feel as a team on this item. And you can see my rating here. 10 is high stress. So high stress would be the sky is falling, or I can't sleep at night because I'm thinking about that. Those are high levels of stress. Medium stress is 5, where this would be like you have a constant worry about something. And number 1 is low stress. What is something that's just making people uncomfortable? And so you go down, there's 10 numbers here. And so you don't have to necessarily rank it, but just list out the top 10 items. And then you would put a score from 1 to 10 for each of those items. This is just an example here. I just put random descriptions. Now, ideally, you would want to make these as specific as possible. I put really general kind of descriptions here as an idea to start you off. But you want to be as specific as possible because ideally the outcome would be you would start taking steps to address some of these things. The more specific you can be, the better the outcome is going to be. But what you'll find is just going through this exercise as a business leader is so helpful because you'll start really understanding what is bothering your team. Here's a list of items here, and you can see here the top 2 issues for people are understaffing and unrealistic expectations for deadlines. Well, if that's the highest levels of stress, that's really information for you to know as a business leader. That's something that you should be tackling. And then what you do down at the bottom here, you just take an average. What is the average of all these 10 numbers? And you'll get a number down here at the bottom. Right now, you can see I have 7. Now, let me tell you about this average number. This is the number, the overall number of stress in your department. And remember, this is on a ranking from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest level of stress. Well, I'll tell you right now, if this number right here is anything higher than a 6, your department is too stressed out. In fact, they're so stressed out that they are probably working to sabotage your business. If it's higher than a 6, that means you're not taking care of your people. There's stuff that needs to be addressed. And when people are feeling like that, like they're not being taken care of, they're not going to take care of you. So just be careful. If you do this exercise and this is anything more than a 6, you have problems and you need to address it, and you need to get this stress number below a 6. And then below here, I just put a whole list of different things just to get your ideas thinking about what are some different things that you can put on this list. Again, these are very general. You want to make these more specific for your situation. And then what I would do is this is just a useful record for you to keep. You do this quarter, come back 3 months from now, do it again. And ideally, in each one of these items, you should see a trend as you start discussing these items, a positive trend to lower levels of stress. So I hope you found this helpful. I've done this exercise before. I found it extremely useful. I hope it will be useful in your organization. If you have additional accounting questions, you can always email me through my website, wolvesandfinance.com, and I will reply with my rates. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Zach from Wolves and Finance. Let's go out and make some money.